Dirt piles, the ultimate playground. Construction sites with dirt piles, empty lots with exposed earth. Kids would play in the dirt for hours, building, digging, creating worlds. Dirt was free. It was endless material for building. It developed imagination and fine motor skills. It was tactile learning. Digging holes, building mountains, creating rivers, getting completely dirty. The freedom to make a mess. The sensory experience of dirt under your fingers. Liability. Kids can't play in dirt anymore because of risk of injury or disease. Also, there are fewer empty lots. Land is developed or protected. Dirt play was foundational learning. Kids learned about physics, engineering, imagination. They learned to create worlds from raw material.
14. Rooftop games, claiming the high ground. Playing on the roofs of buildings, building roofs, tar roofs. It was dangerous but also exhilarating, the entire city visible from up there. Rooftops were forbidden and therefore thrilling. They gave perspective. You could see the entire neighborhood. They were spaces where older kids went, where real danger existed. Climbing to the roof, the view, the freedom of being up there, the slight danger, the feeling of claiming space that wasn't designated for you. Roofs are locked down now. Access is controlled. Also, the risk management culture means kids aren't allowed anywhere dangerous. Rooftop play was transgression. It was claiming space. It was understanding the geography of the city from a different perspective.
Summer nights, the long darkness of freedom. Summer nights when kids could be outside until very late, when the heat kept people on the streets, when night belonged to kids and young people. Summer nights were when kids had maximum freedom. Darkness brought anonymity. Heat meant people were outside. Community happened. Playing in darkness, the city sounds, other kids everywhere, the night being alive with possibility. Playing until you were completely exhausted. Kids have curfews now. Also, they're inside with air conditioning and screens. The culture of outdoor night play has disappeared. Summer nights were when kids took over the city. They belonged to young people. They were freedom and possibility and community.
16. Bottle games, using every container. Games played with bottles. Kick the bottle. Spin the bottle. Bottle hockey, using the bottle as puck. Bottles became sports equipment. Bottles were free. They transformed into equipment. Games created around the bottle developed creativity in sport. The feeling of kicking the bottle, the spin and where it landed, the rules changing based on what bottle you had, the game evolving. No one bottles are abundant anymore. Kids don't have the impulse to create games from found objects. Bottle games were resourcefulness. They were understanding that anything could become a toy if you understood how to play with it.
Summer water balloon fights, summer warfare.
Filling balloons with water and engaging in epic battles. The strategy of when to throw, how to protect yourself, what counts as a hit. Why it mattered? Water balloons were cheap. They created whole afternoons of activity. They were physically engaging and strategic. They were summer tradition. Filling balloons, the tension of holding a filled balloon, the moment of decision to throw, the impact of a hit, getting soaked, the heat making the cold water feel incredible. It's still done, but more sporadically. The culture of spontaneous neighborhood water fights has declined. Water balloon fights were warfare without violence. They were community engagement. They were cool in summer heat.
18. Marble trading, the economy of tiny spheres. Collecting, trading, and playing games with marbles. Different marbles had different value.
Entire economies built around them. Marbles were inexpensive, but had intense value to kids. Trading created economy. Games created competition. The collection was about status and skill. The weight of a marble in your hand, the colors and patterns, trading to get rare ones, playing for keeps, winning someone's marble. Kids don't collect things anymore. The impulse toward marbles has faded. Also, organized games have replaced marble games. Marbles were miniature economies. They taught capitalism and trading. They were tactile and visual and competitive.
19. Climbing trees, developing fear and confidence simultaneously.
Climbing trees, building tree houses if possible, developing relationships with specific trees. Trees were furniture and adventure. Tree climbing developed physical strength and bravery. It taught about risk and consequence. It provided perspective. It was free space that wasn't ground level. Finding the right branches, climbing higher, the view from up in the tree, the risk of falling, the confidence of reaching the top, the leaves and bark. Liability means kids can't climb trees and manage spaces. Also, the fear-based parenting culture means kids aren't given the opportunity. Tree climbing was confronting fear. It was understanding your own limits and pushing them. It developed physical confidence and courage.
Learning to ride a bike, the ritual of passage.
Learning to ride a bike, the falling. Someone holding the seat then letting go. The moment when you realized you were riding without help. A bike meant freedom and speed and the ability to cover distance. Learning to ride was a rite of passage. Bikes were the first vehicle you could control yourself. The fear of falling, the person holding the seat, then the moment when they let go. The moment of balance, pedaling fast, exploring new territory. Kids still learn to ride bikes, but less often. Also, where they can ride is limited. The sense of freedom that came with a bike is diminished. Biking was independence. It was expanding the territory you could explore. It was trust in your own physical capability.
21. Corner crews, the social structure of blocks.
Every block had corners where kids gathered. Different corners had different crews. Corners were where you went to be part of the social fabric. Corners organized social life. They were gathering places. They determined status and social position. They were where older kids hung out and younger kids learned. Going to the corner, joining the crew, listening to stories, being part of something, understanding the social hierarchy. Kids don't gather in physical spaces anymore. The social infrastructure has moved online. Corners are empty. Corner crews were informal social organization. They were where real society happened, outside institutions.
Teaching younger kids the intergenerational transmission.
Older kids teaching younger ones how to play, how to navigate the neighborhood, how to be tough, how to be smart. Knowledge passed down. Learning from older kids was how you grew up. It was intergenerational transmission of culture, knowledge. It created continuity. Watching older kids and learning, being taught, graduating to doing things yourself, eventually teaching someone younger. Age segregation has replaced mixed age play. Kids don't spend enough time together to have this transmission happen. Teaching younger kids was becoming part of something larger. It was the continuity of culture and knowledge.
Making weapons from found objects, the art of improvisation. Creating slingshots from rubber bands, making dart guns from straws, improvising weapons from materials. Not dangerous weapons, but toys that required creativity. Weapon making developed engineering skills. It developed understanding of physics. It was creative problem solving. Finding the right materials, engineering the slingshot, testing it, improving it, using it. the satisfaction of a well-made weapon. Any homemade weapon is now considered dangerous. The impulse is suppressed by safety culture. Weapon making was engineering. It was understanding how things worked. It was creativity and problem solving. 24. Getting lost and finding your way back. Developing navigation skills. Kids would roam far from home, following interests, and then have to navigate their way back. Getting lost was part of the process. Finding your way back developed skills. Getting lost and finding your way developed spatial reasoning and confidence. It expanded the territory kids felt comfortable exploring. It developed independence. Realizing you didn't know exactly where you were, the slight panic, looking for landmarks, asking for directions, the relief of recognizing familiar territory. GPS eliminates getting lost. Kids are driven and tracked. They don't have the experience of navigating by landmarks and intuition. Getting lost was how you learned the city. It was confidence building. It was independence. The understanding that outdoors belong to kids, the reclaimed territory. The complete understanding that the outdoors, streets, parks, empty lots, corners, belonged to kids. Adults had the indoors. Kids owned the outdoors. This understanding meant kids had agency. They had territory. They had freedom. They had a world that was theirs. The morning you woke up and realized you could go anywhere within the neighborhood, the freedom, the possibility, the sense of ownership. The outdoors has been reclaimed by adult surveillance. It's been managed and organized. It's no longer a kid territory. Kids owning the outdoors was childhood freedom. It was agency and possibility and the sense that the world was yours to explore and claim. The 1970s outdoors belonged to kids. They transformed concrete and asphalt, empty lots and corners, streets and parks into kingdoms of play and possibility. They created economies from bottle caps and marbles. They invented games and songs. They learned navigation and survival. They experienced freedom in a way that's almost unimaginable now. That freedom is gone. Modern childhood is supervised, structured, scheduled. Kids don't own the outdoors. They're transported through it. They don't get lost to find their way back. They don't roam in darkness. They don't make weapons or gather on corners or teach younger kids. What was lost in this transition? Physical competence, spatial reasoning, confidence, independence. The understanding that you could create your own entertainment and your own fun. The sense that you had a place in the world that belonged to you. Modern childhood has gained things, access to information, formal education, theoretical safety, but it's lost things too. It's lost the wildness, it's lost the freedom, it's lost the sense that the world belongs to you and it's yours to explore. For Black kids who played outside in the 1970s, the memory of that freedom, that space, that possibility is profound. It defines a generation. It marks a before and after. It marks the moment when childhood changed fundamentally. Can it be reclaimed? Can kids have that freedom again? Not exactly, because the world has changed. But perhaps we can reclaim some of it. Perhaps we can give kids more freedom, more unsupervised time, more territory that belongs to them. Perhaps we can reclaim the understanding that kids need to roam, need to play, need to own a piece of the world. The outdoors belonged to Black kids in the 1970s. They made it theirs through play and imagination and presence. That legacy, that understanding that space and freedom are yours to claim, might be the most important thing to reclaim for the next generation.